captured and thrown to the most deadliest alien red dragon human girl, accepted he, beginning. The metallic tang of blood and ozone filled the cavernous arena. From high above, banners of alien houses shimmered with bioluminescent threads, casting eerie shadows across the sand-strewn ground. Arya Kane, a young human girl no older than 19, stumbled forward as a pair of alien guards shoved her roughly through the iron gates. Her wrists were shackled, her long braids matted with dust, but her chin remained lifted, defiant. She had been captured in a raid on her colony ship, a girl taken as nothing more than sport for the alien warlords of Dreezer. The crowd roared from their crystalline balconies. Hundreds of species gathered to witness the evening spectacle. And what a spectacle it would be! The release of the Crimson Maw, the most feared of the alien red dragons. Born from genetic experiments and bred in fire rivers beneath the planet's core, the beast was whispered to have ended entire legions. Its scales gleamed like molten metal, its breath hotter than plasma torches. Few, if any, had survived its gaze. Another sacrifice, hissed the Drazari noble, his mandibles clacking as he leaned forward. Let us see how quickly the girl screams. Arya clenched her fists. She had grown up on Earth hearing stories about dragons, mythical creatures of fire and wing, protectors and destroyers. But this thing wasn't myth. It was alive, enormous, and waiting just beyond the steel doors on the far side of the arena. The High Chancellor of Dreezer raised his staff, released the red maw. The gates thundered open. A guttural roar shook the arena to its foundations, and from the shadowed tunnel, the dragon emerged. Its wings spread wide, blocking out the artificial suns above. Its red eyes glowed like twin eclipses. Arya's heart thundered in her chest. The crowd screamed in delight. She was unarmed, shackled, and utterly alone. The dragon's gaze locked onto her, and for a single, soul-piercing moment, she thought she was staring into the very heart of death. The dragon moved closer, each step a seismic event. Sand shifted beneath Arya's boots. Her instinct screamed at her to run, but there was nowhere to go. The arena was sealed. Instead of fleeing, she did something no one expected. She stood still, the dragon's head lowered, its nostrils flaring as hot air washed over her. Arya lifted her chin and whispered, "If you're going to kill me, do it fast." Something flickered in the dragon's eyes. Not hunger, not rage, but recognition. The crowd gasped as the Crimson Maw stopped just inches from her. Its maw opened slightly, revealing rows of serrated teeth capable of cutting through starship hulls. Yet it did not strike. Instead, it inhaled deeply, as though sending her soul. Arya remembered something, her grandmother's words back on Earth. Dragons don't bow to fear, child. They bow to respect. Meet their eyes and never flinch. So she didn't flinch. The dragon's growl rumbled low, a sound that shook the bones but carried restraint. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, it lowered its massive head until its snout brushed the ground at her feet. The arena went silent. She commands it, one noble stammered. The High Chancellor stood abruptly, mandibles quivering. Impossible. The maw cannot be tamed. But Arya reached forward, trembling yet resolute, and pressed her hand against the dragon's snout. The scales burned with heat, but beneath that fiery armor, she felt life, power, and something older than words, a mind. And that mind spoke. "You are not like the others." The voice reverberated inside her skull, deep and ancient. Arya gasped, but held steady. "You can talk." "Not with words. With thought. Few hear me. Fewer still survive long enough to answer." Arya's pulse raced. "Why me?" The dragon's eyes narrowed. "Because you're not afraid to die." Around them, chaos erupted. The Drazari nobles screamed in outrage. Guards prepared plasma rifles, aiming not just at Arya, but at the dragon itself. The High Chancellor raised his clawed hand. Kill them both. The first blast of plasma struck the sand, sizzling near Aria's feet. The dragon roared, shielding her with one massive wing. Its scales absorbed the energy, glowing hotter. You'll die if you stay with me, Aria whispered. The dragon's thought thundered in her mind. No, with you I may finally live free. It spread its wings, and with one powerful stroke, the crimson maw launched upward, flames erupting from its jaws. The arena's crystalline balconies shattered as nobles scattered. Aria clung desperately to its neck as the dragon soared through the breach, leaving chaos below. The sky above Driza was thick with alien warships, their dark hulls glowing with green engines. Alarms blared across the city as the crimson maw flew higher, carrying its new rider. Aria felt the searing wind whip against her face. Her wrists still bore the shackles, but she barely noticed. For the first time since her capture, she felt something stronger than fear. She felt destiny. The dragon's voice came again. Your kind once walked with dragons. Not these twisted things a Drazari bred, but true kin. You remember it, even if your people do not. Then you're not their pet, Aria said. You're their prisoner. Yes, bound in chains of fire and blood. Until you, below them, the Drazari fleet mobilized. Fighters surged upward, weapons locking onto the dragon. Aria tightened her grip. They'll kill us! The crimson maw roared, and a torrent of plasma fire poured from its mouth, incinerating the first wave of ships. Still, the swarm pressed on. Aria's mind raced. She knew nothing about aerial combat, nothing about alien fleets, but she knew survival. She spotted the cracks in the formation, the gaps in the enemy's maneuvers. Left, she shouted, pointing. The dragon banked hard, diving through the weak point just as plasma fire streaked past. Aria laughed through the fear. We can do this. Together, the dragon answered, ending. Hours later, far from Driza, the crimson maw landed in a canyon lit by alien starlight. Its wings folded with exhaustion, and Aria slid down to the ground, legs trembling. They were alive. Against all odds, they had escaped. Aria turned to the dragon, who loomed above her like a living mountain. What happens now? She asked softly. The dragon's eyes gleamed. Now, little one, you decide. You freed me. By your courage, I am no longer a weapon. Will you leave me, or ride with me into a future neither of us can see? Aria looked at the alien sky. For so long, she had been a victim, captured, mocked, thrown to die. But now, she wasn't just a survivor. She was a rider, a partner to something greater. Her lips curved into a fierce smile. We ride. The dragon's roar shook the stars themselves as it launched skyward once more. Together, girl and dragon vanished into the night, not as captor and captive, but as equals, bound not by chains but by choice. And across the galaxy, whispers began. Whispers of the human girl who tamed the deadliest red dragon, and the destiny they would carve together.